suppose I don't need my purse on anymore.
You don't have to carry your purse everywhere. God,
Well, you know,
you could just,
you never know.
put it in the car and just leave it there if you wanted to. I don't know. Set your purse down when you golf. That's what they say.
Yeah, no, I think I have been dropping my purse for a while, you know. It's either that or my S's.
Or your panties. I don't know. Either one. I just want to thank you a million times in advance for this paper towel koozie.
Well, you know, when you
Cheers.
come over, I prepare for nothing but the best experience.
It really is.
And,
It's a classy experience here.
Yeah. You're going to get it.
Well, I mean, I know what I'm signing up for when I come over. That's for sure.
Set the expectations low and see what happens from there.
Like if the bar is a half inch off the ground, I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't know why you don't like watermelon.
Well, so when I was younger, I was allergic to watermelon.
Did you eat too much of it and figure out you were allergic?
So most Sundays in the summertime, we would go over to
Your
my mom's house.
Yep.
And we would barbecue and watermelon and corn on the cob and all the stuff.
Yes.
And watermelon just always made my mouth itchy. So I was like, oh, I can't have this.
Well, you know what is weird? I grew up eating all the watermelon. I love watermelon. And I had 6 pieces of watermelon 2 days ago, and my ears and my throat was itchy.
Interesting.
It's like, this is not the norm.
So
This makes me sad.
Yeah, that's how it used
the
to
allergy.
be for
Yep.
watermelon, cantaloupe, honeydew, like all of those. Avocado even sometimes. I'm like, oh, well, I shouldn't eat this, but I don't know. I started eating watermelon again last year. And
it's okay?
Yeah, it's fine. It's great.
Great.
Yeah.
Maybe I just got one that is like full of GMOs. It's a possibility.
Yeah.
You never know.
You never know.
The only other thing that I ever would consume that would make my ears and my throat itch was like overly processed orange juice that you would get at the supermarket.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of orange juice.
Well, I'm definitely not a fan of orange juice that I don't squeeze from oranges of my neighbor's house.
Okay. Well, we don't have neighbors with orange trees anymore.
Hey.
Or ever. I've never had that.
But you have me, and I have all the orange juice in my freezer.
Yet you showed up without any of it. That's amazing.
God, I'm a bad friend.
I give you a
You know what I'll do?
paper towel
I'll bring the
koozie,
paper
and
towel
what's
koozies
my-
next time.
What's my thanks?
Nothing is
Yeah.
what it is. I'll have you meet me at the wrong spot, and I'll come here. How's that sound?
You know, the beauty in that, though, was we went the distance for each other, you know? It's like, I'm going to meet you where you're at.
I was
Cool.
fully committed.
Yeah.
I was fully committed. I was like, all right, cool. I don't even care where his house, I don't know where his house is, and I don't care. I'm going to go pick him up.
Yep.
It's going to be great. We're going to be in the car together for an hour because the traffic's going to be absolutely atrocious, and that's fine because we will get there at the golden hour. But you know what we did instead? We found this magical spot.
Honestly, this place we moved into it's turning into something special really fast.
The feel as soon as I walked in the door, I was like, oh, this is it.
Yeah.
This is it. And that view that you have, which is this view, so magical. Yeah.
Once we got that room painted and, you know, everything sort of like back to where it needed to be, get the shelves up, get our stuff on the shelves and, you know, make it a home. You know, Raphael is very committed to when we get into a place like, let's make it home fast so we can get to the relaxing part of being here.
Yeah,
And
Sarah is the exact same way. She wants to unpack and have it be the way that she wants it within 2 days.
Yep.
And we have lots of things.
Oh, yeah.
And we haven't moved in 10 years, but if we were to move tomorrow, it would be a scene.
Yeah.
It would be a scene.
Well, I was telling Raphael the other day, I'm like, we are filling every corner of this place. You know, you get more room, you expand. You know, now we have another bedroom that we didn't need.
I can't believe this place has 4 bedrooms.
Yeah.
It's shockingly huge.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like that from the outside. It's so unassuming from the outside, you have no idea.
Yeah, I was telling Raphael last night that I really like to be able to stand in the kitchen and look into the dining room and look into the family room, living room area and like see our place from one end to the other.
Oh, for sure.
And then knowing that we're gonna have people over, I can see everybody in the same room, and it's just like, and it feels more communal.
Like, and it doesn't feel like this boxed off, partitioned scenario.
But then like, the house part is on the other side of the hall, right? Where it's like, okay, here's the bedrooms.
Yeah, like the sleeping quarters are in a corner where they need to be. Like it is separated, and it's good to have it that way, to have that wall between where your community can have a good time and chit chat and laugh and be loud and whatever, and then somebody could go to bed if they need to go to bed. They could.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I'm just glad they didn't do it opposite where the bedrooms are on the back side.
I actually thought that very same thing when I walked in. It's like, oh, this is a perfect intention of how they designed.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine sitting down for dinner and looking out at the street, as pretty as it is.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's not
the view I want.
Yeah. We put our dining room table specifically the long way against the window there, so that everyone can have a view of the outside.
Smart.
So yeah.
That is, again, that is the how do you say that? That's the hospitality we're looking for around.
Yeah. Well, you know.
I mean, the paper towel koozie and all.
We're going to be on this for a while.
We are. I'm hanging with this forever.
Okay.
That gum on your can though, that is definitely a throwback to times of yore, I'm sure.
Yes.
And for those of you that don't know, this is my best friend Ryan. We're in San Francisco. I'm Amanda. This is Greenside Chats, and we're not going to be talking about golf today. We're going to be talking about something else way more fun, in our opinion, in our relationship, which is the 8th LifeCycle, because it's happening tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's how we met.
That is exactly how we met.
2018.
Oh my gosh.
I cannot believe it's been that many years since we met.
So weird.
Time has flown by very fast.
Very fast.
But every time that we spend together, I feel like it's like magic. I was talking to my friend Scott today when we were at the park, and he's like, "Oh, how did you meet Amanda?" And of course,
all these
you
stories,
go through the whole story.
The whole thing.
You know, it's like, oh, we're squawking like birds for 5 days from the minute we met until the time that we separated in LA to go be with our families.
Yeah.
It was just like nonstop laughs, nonstop story sharing, just back and forth. And what I told him and what I've told you a bajillion times is that I leave those moments with you and my cup is never not full.
Yeah.
You know? And it's just one of the things that I appreciate about you so much, you know. So
I love you. Cheers.
Love you too.
Man, happy to have you on and happy to be able to share with the 17 people that might watch this that
maybe 18.
Maybe 18.
Well, maybe now that I'm here it might be 16.
I think it's going to be 1 billion. Now that you're on the show, it's going to be
No,
1 billion.
Viewership is definitely going down after this one. They're going to be like, Amanda, don't bring him on
Why
again.
did you do that?
Yeah.
That everything was going fine.
Yeah, you were really getting those numbers up.
Yeah, I looked today and I was like, oh, 60 people watched that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, that is cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, I was going to say before, like when we were starting this, you know, one of the things in my mind, because I knew we were going to talk about the AIDS life cycle, is like, you know, hey, rider, you know, hey, rider, on your left, rider.
On your left, rider. On your left.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
On
your left. There was, Sarah and I were riding now I ride an e-bike. I don't actually ride a road bike anymore.
Well.
Sold it. I leveled up. I don't know. I just got old is what happened. And
riding a bike is hard.
Riding a bike it's a big commitment. Okay. It's a commitment for my butt. It's a commitment for my shoulders, my hands.
Yeah.
If I've also got to really push really hard, you know, I'm just fat and lazy fat and faded is what is going to be happening, which is what's on the back of my shirt right now.
Shirt.
Yeah. But we were riding around, and most people don't know the etiquette of what to do on a bicycle. I actually would say that I didn't know the etiquette until I got on the LifeCycle. That, you know, ride single file first of all.
Yeah.
And also, if you're going to pass, warn the person that you're passing that you're coming on their left.
Well, I mean, it's not just common courtesy, but no one likes to be surprised.
No.
And especially when you're out there and you're on your own sometimes, and it's you against the miles, it's you against the bike, it's you against the wind, it's the weather, it's your thoughts, it's all the things that are going through your mind while you are trying to truck, you know, almost 600 miles from one city to the next. Mm-hmm. As beautiful as it is, like sneaking up on somebody, that could prove to be very dangerous. So
it can be. It could be dangerous for both of you.
Yeah.
Like if they get spooked, they could turn into you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So moral of that story, which didn't happen to either one of us because we don't go fast enough to scare anyone. We were literally at the end of the pack every day.
Yeah. It's not so much being scared when I pass you as being surprised that I'm passing you.
That you're actually happening.
Where you're like, oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I should probably go faster is what needs to happen.
This guy caught up to me.
Well.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I was powered by Pop-Tarts.
If
I never eat another Pop-Tart.
If I never see or smell another Pop-Tart in my life, that's fine.
Yeah. Viewers, just imagine a Costco pallet of Pop-Tarts, but they've been generously cut in half by the roadies for you.
To make it easier to eat. To feel good about how many you're eating in a day.
Yes. But when you have a Pop-Tart at every stop,
which there could be 5 stops
in a
day. No one needs to eat that much Pop-Tart in a day.
There's like fruit, but I didn't want to grab the fruit because
Why?
I've got like sweaty, dirty hands, and I've got butt butter hands. It's been a day on the road.
It has been a day.
I do not need to touch anyone's fruit, let alone my own. So I might as well grab a granola bar or another Pop-Tart.
Or the graham cracker peanut butter sandwich.
Oh my God.
My
mouth is already dry.
No, the graham cracker peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I was like, why don't you just bring an Uncrustable? Like, that would have been the move.
Why don't you just hand out saltines? Like, it would have been the same thing.
And then make me try to whistle after, because that is it.
Everybody grab a saltine.
Who can whistle first?
Yeah, it's just lots of good decisions were made on that ride.
My gut was so messed up when I got home. Like, my stomach hurt for weeks after the ride.
Yeah. Well, I mean, your biome is completely
destroyed.
I mean, it's on a sugar high anyway.
Yeah.
Because they're feeding you a shit ton of carbohydrates at night. Mm-hmm. Get fueled up, get your energy.
Here's all the pasta and some chicken on the side.
Here's a few slivers of the chicken. And all of the serious riders that hit
one head of broccoli, because all of you idiots that are here now, you started at 8:30 in the morning. Right before the bus left, and told you, like, you have to leave now or we're going to drive you to the next place where we're going to sleep.
Which, in hindsight,
I think one day you did that, which I think was smart. It was smart.
I mean,
anyways, the point being,
my sit bones didn't give me a choice but to sit on that bus. Like, there was not going to be a ride that day.
Absolutely not.
My red blood vessel, or my red blood cells needed to
coagulate a little. Like, someone please do some healing back here.
Yeah. I might have stood for that ride down there though too. It's just
honestly, I think it was day 5.
That was a terrible day.
God, day 5. Okay, so day after.
Day 5 for you. Day 6 for me.
Right, because day 5 I could not sit and pedal because my quads were so tight.
Like when mine locked up at the backside of the Paradise Loop, and I was like, oh God, okay, I gotta stop.
And then you just like tipped over, and then we both laid in the driveway. The Paradise Loop is not on the LifeCycle. This is after the LifeCycle. We were like, we're just gonna keep cycling together, which we did for years.
We're riders.
We are. Look at me.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is a body of a cyclist. But we went on this loop, Paradise Loop. It's beautiful. It's down in Tiburon. And halfway through the ride, we climbed out of this thing, and I was feeling good. I'd been teaching cycle for a while, so my legs felt good.
Yeah.
You did not feel good that day. We got up there, and you're like, I'm going to take a pit stop here, and I'm actually going to call for SAG because I need someone to pick me up.
Immediately.
I don't know, how long did we lay in that poor person's driveway?
Oh, it had to have been a good 40 minutes.
40 minutes, probably, just to get the cramping to stop.
Yeah. Well, I mean...
Or seizing. Or spasm is spasm.
Yeah.
Spasm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a good time.
No.
So stay hydrated, friends.
Yeah, definitely hydrate.
Not with
high noons inside the paper towel koozie, but definitely with some sort of electrolytes.
Listen, if Amanda comes to your house anytime soon, please have everything that you need.
And a paper towel.
If it was wet enough to snap her with it, I might think about it, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Not today. It'll just disintegrate right in front of you.
Not today.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we've got Misha heading out tomorrow morning.
I'm actually so excited for him.
Yeah.
Like, when I learned he was going, I don't think I've felt that kind of excitement about an activity in a long time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we have talked year after year, like, we should do the ride, we should do the ride.
We promised that we were going to do it.
I feel like it's not like having a baby where you are given all of the hormones in your body that make you forget what it was like to ride that ride. You will never forget what it's like to ride that ride. Ever. But then,
I tell people all the time that it changed my life.
Yeah.
In fact, I gave a lesson to this couple this morning, Bill and Frankie. And Frankie did the LifeCycle 3 years in a row, 2010, 2011, and 2012.
Amazing.
And we both had the same feel. Like, that was the first time I saw him light up the whole lesson.
Yeah.
Was when we were talking about, and it was over.
Yeah.
We got all the way through the whole thing, and then I told him I was coming down here to see you, and we were going to talk about this tonight. And he was like, I did that 3 times in a row.
Oh my gosh, good for him.
We talked about Quadbuster, and I was talking
the double
about
daughters,
the double, yeah,
the twin sisters,
the twins,
hateful bitches.
Those hateful bitches. But that was better for me than Quadbuster.
Oh yeah. So I did what I do when I'm climbing hills a lot of times, where I just like serpentined back and forth.
Yes.
I didn't go very far, but it was very easy.
It's way friendlier.
Yeah, well, way friendlier, but I mean, that was, let's be honest, the longest ride I've ever done in my entire life.
And that was one of the shortest days, too.
And it was one of the shortest days.
Yeah.
But I have always had a problem like getting in and out of my clips.
Right.
And when you are doing that switching back and forth and you're like trying to climb up these hills,
yeah,
and you don't trust yourself enough to do the action that you need to do,
right,
but then you're remembering like I'm also clipped in.
I'm welded to the bike.
Yeah, and you have those nervous moments where you're like, how am I going to get out of this?
Yeah.
Quickly.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have pedals I can turn over. They're just clips on the other side. So like I'm gonna be clipped in.
And I'm not stopping.
There were a few times on that ride where I was just like, I'm gonna lay down now. And I just laid down because I can't talk myself into getting out of the clips. Yeah.
That is so different than what it was like for me. I think it was day 2. We had not met yet.
No.
We didn't meet till the end of day 2. So at the beginning of day 2, we got to the first. Okay, just for those of you that don't know what this is like, I went by myself on the LifeCycle, and I was planning to go with my brother. He couldn't do it because he had a whole life in Tennessee, and then all the other people that were like, yeah, I'll do it with you, they of course did not. You went with someone,
but
that
a friend.
Person, but he was not with you at all.
No, he was a much stronger rider
right,
than
so he
I
was
was.
out.
And he was like, I gotta go.
I gotta go.
Like, please do.
You know, he's cruising at like 19 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That second day when I got up and I got out of my tent that I was sharing with a person that I had never met, but she was really great, and I'm going to tell you why in just a second. I got up, I got to breakfast, I got to my bike, and I realized I've started my period.
Yeah.
I don't know where my water bottles are, and I also have to pack up this tent and pack up my bag because I'm the last one out, and I've got to take this shit over to the U-Haul truck.
Oh my gosh.
And girl, I am tired. We rode 88 miles the first day.
Yeah.
88.
Yeah.
I had rode a maximum of 37 before I did the LifeCycle.
I think mine was like 20 something.
Yeah.
Except for like the day on the ride.
Except for the day you did, which was like 75.
Yeah.
You did that. So I get out on this second day, and I'm riding around, and I'm like, I can't even believe what this is like right now.
Yeah.
You're like disoriented.
Yeah.
The
beginning of my second day, I didn't realize how bruised your soft tissue gets.
Yeah.
And I wasn't prepared to sit down on that seat again. And I've told you this before, like I clip in my left leg, I throw my right leg over my bike while I'm rolling.
Yes.
And I mean, just before I sit down touching. And my body is like, no, this is not going to work. Like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And you do have that moment of, oh shit, I have 460 miles left of this.
Yeah.
Like no one's coming to save me.
Nope.
You know, okay, buckle in. Let's figure it out. I stopped, I took a bunch of Advil, and I was like, well, we're just going to pray this day ends quickly. And that was 110 miles.
Did you ride all those miles that day?
Yeah.
God, that is impressive.
Yeah. Honestly, like, you know, when you push a bruise, at first it's got that weird sensation.
Really hurts, but
then you're like, oh, okay.
I can handle that.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
And then your body does what it does, and it spits out a bunch of endorphins and all the other things, and you sit and adrenaline takes over because you're like, well, I have to go. So like, let's go. You know, and Richard, he's, see you later.
Bye. He's cruising at 19, and meanwhile, we're in the back.
Which is probably why I was such a bitter Betty when we got to the end of day 2, and that guy just started talking his trash. I was like, oh gosh, okay.
Like, really, man?
I'm like, I have not had the day for this, so I'm gonna go lay on this concrete slab in my tent and just pray I don't wake up in the morning.
With a seizure or something. Like, my body is in a full, like, feels like it needs to be in a cast.
Well, I'm cold. I'm sore.
It's terrible.
My feet hurt. My knees hurt. My hips hurt. My butt hurts. I'm just like,
and
what is going on?
That day was trippy because, you know, we ended up, that day we rolled through the strawberry fields, which was really beautiful. It smelled beautiful. You could see the people that worked those fields, they were working. I'm going to tell you something, that job is not easy because strawberries are on the ground. So they are down picking those strawberries. Yep. And then we got a tailwind for 40 miles or something?
It was amazing.
It was amazing.
And it took us all the way to camp.
It took us all the way. Almost all the way. Because we had the wind at our backs. We were going we must have been going 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I feel like we were going 30. I feel like
was
we were going 1,000.
Was that the day, like at the end, where we like cut over this bridge and then came down to like this big old bark walkway? Like you had to walk through a bunch of bark to get over to the camp? That's all I can remember.
I don't remember that.
I have a very compartmentalized memory of that race. Well, like I remember being on it during the day, but like at night when we got done, I feel like my whole mind and body just disassociated.
Honestly, and this could be the same day or it could be different days. I don't remember. It's the day, I think it was day 4. We were friends by this point because we met at the end of the second day.
Yep.
Which I was going to tell you that the second day I did not ride all the miles because my foot was such a mess.
Okay.
When we got to the point where we got out of the 35-mile-an-hour tailwind and we turned right, and I was like,
and the wind is
oh
on
my
you?
God, I'm going to fall over if I don't lean into the wind. As soon as we made the turn back and we're kind of climbing up into the hills a little bit, my foot was hurting so bad I had SAG take me in. I had ridden 75 miles. I felt bad about getting on the bus, but I was like, whatever.
Yeah, that's a weird feeling though too, isn't
that's
it?
That's weird
where you're
too,
just like,
right?
Man, I kind of let myself down.
I
let
was
my
supposed to do them
sponsors.
all,
like, it's a strange feeling to want to complete everything and feel guilty about not doing it.
Yeah. My advice to anybody that's doing this is you need to listen to your body.
Oh, 100%.
You have to, because you don't have to ride all the miles. They are there for you.
Yeah.
But
they're there for a reason. Like don't hurt yourself.
No, absolutely
long term,
No. And it's not a race. You don't have to go fast.
Right.
You can go at your own speed.
You just have to beat us.
Just ride with us, Like,
we're going to get there.
Weren't we given stickers? It was like, it had an acronym, but I can't remember what it said. It was essentially like, we're dead ass last.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
DAL.
Yeah.
Dead ass last.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was telling Scott that today. I was like, there were a few days where it was like me and Amanda and the oldest lady on the ride on her tricycle.
Just right behind us.
Like right behind us. And then the sweeper behind her.
was behind her.
And it's like, oh shit, we better get moving.
We gotta go. And we're like, bye, Granny. And so we just took off and we rode as hard as we could for probably 1 mile.
Yeah, and then we were there.
And then we were at the next rest stop. Oh my God.
You just never know how close you're going to be. You round the corner and it's like 1 mile. We're like, oh, okay, cool. I can make that. You
liars.
Yeah.
And you see that 1 mile sign, you're like, oh, thank God. And then you ride and
you're like, it's the longest 20 minutes.
It is the longest mile of your entire day. Entire day.
Most people can ride a mile in less than 20 minutes, but
not me.
I was going for distance, going for speed. Isn't that a song? Yeah.
Yes.
I can't finish the rest of it though.
Isn't that that's a Beck song?
Yeah, it is. Anyway.
She's going the distance.
Correct. Yeah.
She's going the speed.
Okay.
She's got, I can't remember.
Something all alone in her time of need. I don't know.
That's it. You just did it.
Okay.
You just completed the phrase.
So close.
Someone's going to be proud of that. Actually, someone's probably going to be relieved that happened.
Yeah, they're going to be like, oh, I was singing that wrong the whole time.
Thank God Ryan
let me know what the right lyrics were.
Also, they're probably looking at you, they're like, that guy, he just only listens to EDM. There's no way he listens to anything but EDM. Facts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look, if it's not on Above and Beyond's Group Therapy Radio, I probably haven't heard it recently, so.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Yep, that's true.
I can't help myself.
Hey, you turn me towards it, and I cannot avert my ears from it. It's just like the best. It is the best.
Yeah, it's something else.
It really is. I feel, I don't know. It's interesting because I feel uplifted and elevated in a way. Like when you hear your favorite song ever from when you were like a senior in high school.
Yeah.
I have that exact feel when you send me any track.
Yeah. Well, I'm never going to say that I have the best taste in music or that what I listen to everybody should listen to or, like any elitist crap like that. Like you should listen to what makes you feel good. And these songs that I send along to my friends, like they are songs that I have absolutely played to death before I sent them to you.
Oh yeah.
And I have listened to them in several different headphones in the car, you know, on some like sort of mono stereo, better headphones, lesser headphones, because I want to hear all of the components and the pieces. And you know, it sounds kind of obsessive, but I want to hear every layer.
Yeah.
So that I can, like that's new. Like I heard this and it played so well with this, and then I heard this come back in and this took off, and I don't know, it's just like the audiophile in me. I want to hear all of it.
All the pieces.
And I will write a song hard.
Yeah.
There is this remix that Yado just did by this group called The Blaze. And the song is called Territory. And Yado redid it and played it at the open air event in Seattle.
Yeah.
And I have just I have listened to this podcast or the episode or the replay of the show no less than 60 times this week.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and on Tuesday when I went to the gym, I played that song on a loop the entire hour and a half that I was there, just over and over and over. And there's just something about it.
Did you send that one to me?
I sent you.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. So it's at the 52:20 mark.
Yeah. Of
that episode, and it's just so good.
Yeah.
It's just one of those songs that like, it's like the earwig, and even when I'm not listening to it, like I can hear it, and I'm, you know, again, I'm hearing all of the pieces and I'm putting it together for myself.
Yeah.
So even though I'm not listening to it live, in my head, I promise you, like I can hear it crystal clear. Yeah, it's just...
That's actually so fun.
Yeah.
I like having that kind of clarity around a thing that you absolutely love.
Yeah, I think it's very rare for people to know that they love something so much.
So deeply.
Yeah, and then get hooked on it. Mm-hmm. And this is how these events are, this is how this music is. It's just... I'm like wrapped up in it because it makes me feel a certain type of way.
Yeah, you get a feeling about it. And that is, I think that's kind of what people, I believe this to be true, is this is what people are searching for. They want that feeling that helps them feel connected, whether it's to other human beings or to something bigger than themselves. I think that's why when we get around people, and my guess is that we're mildly obnoxious when we start talking about the life cycle.
Oh, sure.
Because they don't know what that is yet.
Right.
When Misha gets back, he will know.
Yeah.
And he will need to decompress with us.
I
cannot wait. I cannot wait to hear about his experience about it.
It's just something that if you haven't done it, you don't know. And I know how that sounds when you say it, you know, and somebody who is not on the ride.
Like I can't
they're
tell
like,
you.
Oh, okay, like I wouldn't get it.
Yeah, you're not going to understand because you weren't there.
Yeah.
In this case, it's really true.
Yeah.
Because there is there's something to be said about suffering with a person.
Yep.
This exists in CrossFit. It exists in rowing. It exists in golfing too. It exists in lots of things. But this just happens to be our thing that we suffered together with, and now we have a friend that we do this other thing with, where we go listen to music and we just have an amazing time. And it's extremely bonding in that way. But this life cycle is different because it is a suffer fest.
Yeah.
And we signed up for it. We elected to do it out of our own volition. Nobody put a gun to our head and said, you have to. I
couldn't even tell you how I got tucked into it.
I know exactly what happened to me. I'll tell you my story. I was at lunch with a guy. We were talking about the Garden Society, which is a weed brand. He was oh gosh, I don't even remember his role. But my friend, Erin Gore, who I hope she watches this podcast and knows that I want her to be on it because she is a G. She came to me for a lesson and said, I quit my corporate job and I started a weed brand. And I said to her, my exact quote was, I don't care what it is, I want in.
Yeah.
She's like, great. I said, make me your brand ambassador. She's like, great. So we started doing that and I had to meet with this guy. This man told me about this event that he had done where he rode his bicycle from San Francisco to LA. I was like, what on earth is that? Because I had just done the Tough Mudder. Yeah. And I was looking for another cool, hard thing to do with my brother that we would have to train for and go. We would be uninterrupted for X amount of time. We would have to do a thing together.
There's something about that surviving something together with
surviving
somebody.
It together, right? And you're bonded forever, right? And when he told me about that, I wasn't even a cyclist. I had been looking at these people in Sonoma County.
I hadn't ridden a bike probably since I was
you were a
junior
child.
high.
Since you were a child, right? I think the last time I had been on a bike, like as a choice, was probably when I was in junior high.
Yeah.
And when he told me about this, I didn't have a bicycle. I didn't know what it meant to be clipped in.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know anything about climbing hills and mostly what I thought when I saw these people in Lycra riding around on these bicycles with these tiny seats was, that looks fucking uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? That sounds great.
Yeah.
I'm going to sign up for that.
Yeah. I know, I guess maybe new at this point. I haven't talked to him for several years. His name is Adam Camo, and I worked with him at J. Crew in Colorado, and he moved out to San Francisco and doing other things, but he was one of the like fundraising people inside of either the AIDS Foundation or inside of AIDS LifeCycle, and he was like trying to drum up people to do this. And I think because I knew him, I was like, hey, like tell me more about this. And he's like, oh, there's a bunch of meetings in the city, like come and get some information. There's like rider meetups, you can get gear, like there's all this stuff. Like
he was telling you all the stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it was like I had an insider, and so he gave me a lot of information. This was back when I was working at Wells Fargo. My boss at the time, Taffy, she was like, oh, I love this. This is going to be awesome. Like, I'm happy to support you. Like help me get my bike. Like she really helped set me up, not only giving me the support, but like, hey, like you need stuff to get on. Okay. Like, let's go ahead and get on it. Let's do it. So,
for sure.
Yeah. How's it going?
Hi.
I'm doing a little exploring.
Good.
Yeah, no worries.
We're doing a little podcast.
Yeah, we're doing a little
episode.
podcast.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
we got a little video over here. We're just having a conversation between friends and talking about the weather.
What is the name of the podcast?
It's called Green Side Chats. This one is obviously not a green side, but this is my best friend, and we're talking about the AIDS LifeCycle because it's starting tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
And we did it in 2018, and we're just talking about that time. And
yeah, my partner did it 3 times.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
Well, what years?
I can't remember. He got killed on his bicycle, too.
Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh.
When a hit-and-run driver hit him.
Whoa.
So that was July 1st, 2023. And we've been together for 32 years.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And he was 20 years younger than me, so we expected me to go first.
Right.
So
right.
my life got turned upside down. So that's video?
It is.
Correct.
Yep. Oh. We're going to go see our friend off tomorrow morning. He's doing the ride for the first time, so when we are down there, we will be thinking of you as well and of your partner. And
so are you online right now?
It's not live. I'm just recording it, but I'm going to post it in a couple of days. But I don't have to put any of this conversation in it.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
So I'm going to wander down
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Just watch the tripod and
Yeah, I will.
Enjoy yourself.
Enjoy your walk.
I'm a podcast addict.
Oh, okay.
Great.
Yeah.
Well,
My favorite is Criminal.
Okay.
Is it a murder murder
it's just
type?
peripheral crime that are entertaining, and they might be historic
Yeah.
or things you wouldn't think of, or things that were passed over and revisited.
You might like a podcast that I listen to. It's called Not Past It, and she talks about things that happened in history and they're short episodes. They're maybe 27 minutes or something like that, but it's similar to what you're talking about, not exactly, but it's not about crime necessarily, but it's just about historical things that have happened. But
what is it again?
Not Past It.
Not plastic?
Past it.
Past.
P-A-S-T.
I'm not over it, not past it.
Oh, not past it.
Yeah.
Well, Phoebe Judge, who does Criminal, also does This Is Love.
Okay.
About people that love certain objects or people or experiences or...
Yeah.
And she's won awards. She's really amazing.
Sounds like an interesting thing for me to listen to.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Criminal.
All right.
Good to know.
Enjoy your walk.
Thank you.
Be safe over there.
And if you want me to move that camera, I will. Just let me know. I hope he doesn't trip. Talk about a cougar.
Yeah.
Pitter patter, get at her, old man.
For those that you have may not heard, because the gentleman was not mic'd, his partner was 20 years younger than him.
Yeah.
So, you know, I always wondered if I'd see a cougar out here on these little hills.
You just found it. Just found it.
We just saw one.
Real time, y'all. Cougar.
Yeah.
I have a friend who, he's no longer alive, but he went to BYU, and he referred to his brethren at BYU as cougarin.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, back to the
cougarin.
Back to the story at hand.
Don't ever say that word to me again.
Okay, fair enough. Wow. Okay. And anyway,
my cougarin.
My welcome, my cougarin.
Oh my gosh, I'm never gonna forget that.
I think you actually should use it.
Yeah.
When you hang out with men that are your age or above.
Okay, so.
You know why? Because we're both old now. That's why.
Yeah.
And I guess in a lot of respects, you actually are a cougar.
I mean, is that like do you
I don't
call?
know if it applies to men, but you're kind of a lady in a lot of ways, so let's go there.
Well, I appreciate you seeing me.
I see you.
Yeah.
I see you, Diva.
Okay.
I see you over here. Look at you. You should see the sunshine on your face right now. It's glorious.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll get a little more sun on it.
Oh no, it's good because your beard's covering it. It's You're like mysterious, kind of with the collar up.
Yeah.
A little mystery.
Well, you know, like I can't let everybody know everything.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, that'll be the next podcast.
Next.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm gonna start my own.
You absolutely should.
Yeah. Oh, see, go to my sister's site. Meet this weirdo Ryan. Get to know more about him. Him and his cougarin.
Him and his cougarin over here. Yeah. Do you remember what we wore on day? Is it day 4 or day 5 that we wore red?
The red dress day.
Do you remember when we linked up that morning? And
we're
standing out there and.
It's the prettiest damn dress I ever had on.
I felt so cute in my strawberry shortcake.
I looked like so my sister Kelly, one of the loveliest humans in the world.
Hands down.
She decorated her car and she met us on day 4.
Yep.
In the middle of day 4.
Yes.
Followed us all the way down to the next stop.
Yep.
Was lovely enough to book us hotel rooms for the rest of the trip, so I didn't have to sleep out on the mat in a tent with Richard.
Yeah.
Which would have been fine, but thank God for my sister.
Well, and wasn't he busy every single night anyway?
He's a busybody anyway.
He is busy.
So, Kelly picks me up after the ride. I don't have anything red to wear, except for I think I had a red jersey maybe, but I didn't have anything red.
I didn't have any. The only red thing I brought were socks. Red socks. So I was like, I don't wear dresses.
Yeah, me either. So
I know that's hard to believe.
Yeah.
All
shocker. Yeah. So Kelly was like, "Well, let's go to Target and let's just cruise around and see what we can find." Well, like, I'm not dressed for success. I'm not the size that I would have liked to have been, and nor the size that I said I was in my driver's license. But we looked at so much stuff, and it's like, no. It reminded me of. Did you ever see History of the World Part 2? Maybe you didn't.
No.
Anyway, there's this scene. Well, I'll show you later.
Okay.
But she was choosing eunuchs.
Okay.
And she's like, yes, no, yes, no.
So is that
yes,
experience
yes.
at Target?
So is that experience at Target? I'm trying to find the perfect coming outfit, as Jack McFarlane would say.
Yes.
I found this dress, like a halter top, spaghetti strap. It was like real tight in the boob, real loose in the waist, which is exactly what I needed because I was rocking that Pop-Tart body.
You sure were. Both of us were.
We found some red nail polish. We had a lot
happening, yeah.
We get back to the hotel. You know, I couldn't have picked a cuter outfit, I'm sure of it. My sister painted my nails. And then she's like, all right, well, like, don't move them. And I'm sure I fell asleep not 10 minutes.
Oh, guaranteed.
After she told me, like, to not move. My nails needed to dry. And I'm just, like, dead to the world.
Yep.
So we meet up that morning. I swear I looked like Minnie fucking Mouse in this little dress that I had. I had a helmet on.
Yeah.
Like, no wig, no hair, no nothing.
No.
I might as well have been wearing, like, this dress and my curlers, like, smoking a cigarette and, like, wearing flip-flops, like, chasing people down the street, you know? It's like...
But that's a look.
It was a look.
A look.
Yeah,
that's
a
look.
Yeah, I was looking real rough.
Real.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think a lot of us were. And then we stood together out in that field and we watched the parade of handmaids.
Oh, that was the best.
Do you remember that? There was like 20 of them.
Who knew how real that would be today?
God, oh my God.
But yeah, like 20 people walking across the field dressed like handmaids.
Yeah, it was trippy.
Yeah, it was...
Yeah, it was, that was intense.
Yeah.
And really very cool, but also we were like,
we're like, oh my God, look at them, that's so cool.
That's
yeah, I don't get it.
And now, yeah. The day before Red Dress Day, I told whomever I was like, well, yeah, I have something red. It's my red socks. Because I had, like
that's not gonna
7 pairs of cycling socks, and one of them was red. And whoever heard this information was like, oh, no, absolutely not. No, we're going over here to the store. So there was a store at camp where you could go buy recycled dresses. Yes.
I had no idea.
I didn't either. I don't know. You don't know these things.
Because I had no friends on the ride but you.
And I didn't know anything.
And
we
you
had
found
never
out that
gone.
morning.
I found out that night.
Okay.
Like I was walking, like I think this was the second day that this was the one time where I caught SAG and skipped 20 miles of the ride because I was so tired and got to camp early and I got showered. It was like 3:30 in the afternoon.
Dare you.
I know.
How dare you?
I know. But you were
at a hotel. Was that when we were in the park?
You were at a hotel.
In Paso Robles?
So I don't want to hear it. You were at a hotel that day.
If that was a Paso Robles day, yeah, I was.
Yeah, you were. Yeah. The day before is when I met Kelly.
Yeah.
And we had stopped. We had made the rest stop at the pizza place.
Oh God, best day ever.
Best fucking day on the ride because we got Pizza Hut pizza and I didn't bring any money and you always have the money. And at this point I knew what my role was just to be cared for by you. Yeah. And so I walked straight up to the counter after having read and agreed
I'm like, get whatever you want, babe.
Yeah.
Get whatever you want.
And
it's on me. I got it.
I had agreed to not drinking alcohol and not doing drugs on this ride. And I walked straight up to the counter and I ordered the coldest beer I could get with my pizza. And I paraded it through. And you know how it looked when we saw the handmaids walking? And everyone is like stopped in their tracks. That's what it looked like when this
gassed.
handmaid was walking through the
I think
parlor.
You were a beer maid at that moment.
I was a beer maid for myself. And everyone was like salivating and pissed.
Amanda comes over. She's got a pitcher of beer. We have like 2 of the world's biggest pizzas. There were 4 of us at this table. We ordered enough food to feed 18,000
people because we had just burned all the calories. Golly. And they weren't serving pizza at camp.
No.
They were trying to serve good things.
Yeah.
But really they just were serving pasta. And I had enough.
Yeah, I couldn't have any more Primavera.
No,
it wasn't going to work for me.
I think I had enough fried chickens pieces to, anyways. So we get back to camp. Do you remember this part? We get back to camp, and I had made friends with the chiropractor.
Yep.
And I brought our leftover pizza to her.
Correct.
And you were so pissed at me for giving the pizza to her.
Because I'm fat.
Oh, well,
I'm hungry.
I wasn't.
The trick is I'm always hungry.
Your trick is you always are.
Somebody gave my food away.
Yeah, I know. You're like,
why would you do that?
It's time to fight.
Yeah.
It's time to fight.
Why would you give away food?
Well, because
I know you were bartering, trading, and I didn't get it.
It was honestly a lapse in judgment. And I was so tired at this point. I was just like, you know what? You're hungry, and I'm actually the really giving one in this relationship. And so I gave her the pie.
Right. No, you did the right thing.
I know.
You did the right thing.
I know.
I had holes the size of dimes in my ass. I was just mad about everything.
You were just pissed.
And when I'm hungry
how could you not be?
And sore and tired, I'm like...
You're like, I have open sores in my butt, and I'm starving.
And you gave my pizza away?
And you gave the pizza... You know what? You're out. Get out. I thought we were friends. We're not.
You hate me. You don't get me. We spent 3 days together of our
together.
entire lives, and you don't know me.
How do you not know me already? How do you not know me?
Good Lord.
So then we meet up the next morning, and we're watching this parade of men come through with their like red Speedos. That's all they're wearing.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And do you remember how much training we got on you need to wear a chamois and you need to put on butt butter every day? And I'm looking at them and I'm like, where are you going to put the butter? Is it going inside the thong?
Yeah, in between those two buns.
On your taint?
Yeah. Yeah, directly.
Skunk.
Yeah. Like my sunglasses are on, so you couldn't see my eyes close when I was just like really reliving that moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, everyone should do the AIDS LifeCycle ride. Unfortunately, this is the last year they're doing it.
Okay, get this. I heard, so it's the last year that they're doing it, the version that we did.
Oh.
So I heard today from my new friend Frankie that apparently the LifeCycle is pivoting and they're not going to go to LA. They're going to ride from San Francisco to Sonoma over 3 days.
Okay.
I would do that.
Fine.
I got that kind of time.
I do.
I can do that.
Yeah.
I don't even ride.
What is that, 120 miles?
Maybe. Can we do that in one day? I think I could do it in one day.
We're not going to.
I'm not doing that in one day, but I could do 40 miles in a day.
I imagine it's like 60 miles all around wine country. You're probably winding in and out from the city all the way up there.
I'm in.
Like on a bicycle through all those trails. It's going to be, it's not a straight shot. It's going to be great.
Think about how gorgeous that is. Like it was gorgeous going to LA, but that ride going north is stunning. I honestly wish they would figure out how to ride all the way to the border of Oregon, because that direction is some of the most beautiful country I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. My sister would say, she'd be like, oh, we can stop and peep the trees.
We can peep these trees.
Yeah, we can peep the trees.
How high was she that time when she said that?
Oh, not high at all.
No? Normal?
No, me and her and Raphael, we drove up to Eureka.
Yeah.
We went through Humboldt County. Eureka might even be in Humboldt County. I don't know.
It is.
Okay, well.
You were up there.
We were up there.
Yeah.
We got a little Airbnb. We gave Kelly Gallo Pinto for the first time, which
that's right. Yeah.
was always interesting to introduce people to new food. It's just beans and rice.
It's just rice and beans.
It's just rice and beans.
No big deal. A little cheese on there. Maybe some hot sauce. You're fine.
Come to my house for breakfast. We will hook you up.
Yeah. We're not going to tell you the address, but you will eat well.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. If you can get here just by these views, I will feed you.
Oh, that's anybody taking the challenge?
Yeah.
Anybody.
But you have to let me know you're coming, because my husband doesn't like uninvited or unannounced guests.
Meanwhile, the two of us are like,
hey! Meanwhile, the door's open.
Door's
Come
open
on
any fucking time. Anytime.
Yep.
Yeah. Sarah and I built this house. Not the house. We didn't build the house. We built the front yard to be like the most beautiful private thing, because she is so introverted.
Yeah.
She's like, I really want to sit in the front yard.
Okay.
But we're on a corner.
Right.
And it's the busiest corner in the whole town.
But now everyone's in the corner.
And now no
Your
one
friends
can
come over.
Us. And they would.
Hang out in the chicken coop.
They want to come out in the chicken coop.
With Michael Jackson.
Rest
in peace.
Rest in peace. R.I.P. MJ.
Recipes.
What?
Talking about chickens?
I just made some Szechuan. Yeah, never mind. I just went totally the wrong direction. Anyways.
It's fine.
Yeah. I think a lot about that perfect meeting of like how we found one another that day at the end of that longest day on the ride. And I was so wrecked when we got there. That was the we were at a fairgrounds that day.
Yes.
They set us up on tents that were on concrete slabs, and we met because this is a thing that happens at the end of every ride, is that you need to go charge your device.
Yep.
Because you're not staying if you're not princessing, then you're not staying in a hotel.
Correct.
You don't have power. So there's tents that are set up that have these tables. You get a charging station, you plug in, you hang out there, and you make a new friend probably, or you at least talk to somebody that you didn't talk to that day. I sat down at this table that had one power strip. So I plug in my thing, and there's like me and one other guy and then one other person. You hadn't arrived yet.
Nope.
Actually, I think the person that was over here. And then this young man showed up, and he had two power strips that he plugged into the one power strip, and then it was like a swarm of people. Yeah. You were there. You sat down. The four of us started chit-chatting. This man was so kind. It was great. What was it, like 10 or 15 minutes later?
Yep.
This joker shows up. He is young. He is fit.
Yep, got a lot to say.
He's at the wrong table.
Correct.
He's hanging out with the old, out-of-shape people that are just trying to charge their phones because we didn't want to pay extra money to Princess and stay at a hotel every night.
We were just looking for some silence.
I honestly think that's exactly what was happening. We were all so fatigued. We just needed quiet.
Yeah, here I am roaming around the carnival trying to find, like, you know.
Where's the other clown I can talk to?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, this joker comes over and sits down at our table and immediately starts in on how dirty San Francisco is.
Yeah. Couldn't imagine living here.
You know, the homeless
such a terrible
population,
city.
it's so dirty. There's trash everywhere.
I don't know why anybody wants to be there.
And all this stuff. And so I, you know, stick my neck out and ask, like, well, what part of the city do you live in? And his answer, I'll never, ever forget, that his answer was, I don't live in the city. I live in Soho in New York. I'm like, okay, that's my cue. I pick up my charger and leave.
It's like, great, you have no idea what you're talking about.
No idea what you're talking about.
So thank you.
Thanks and goodbye.
Yeah, thank you for what you added, which was nothing.
Yeah.
We're going to go.
We're out.
Yeah.
And we were just, like, we knew each other's name. That was it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that when he started saying that and then Amanda asked the question and then he had his reply, she looked at me like, and then we were both like, all right, bye.
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd ever see you again.
I never thought twice about it because that was my one and only night of sleeping in a hotel.
Yeah.
I got my stuff and I went straight to the hotel and actually collapsed in the bed.
Yep.
And then
you're pretty fresh the next morning.
Boy, I was feeling good.
Yeah. That
Princess.
was, I think it was actually stop 2 that we met, not stop 1.
Really?
Yeah. It felt like around, it was around 10 a.m., so it probably was stop 1.
Oh, it's definitely 1.
Okay.
Definitely, because you know we didn't leave till 8:30.
Yeah.
Because we're those people.
Correct. Yeah. Look, like, I didn't even want to leave.
Hey,
so
I know.
To make it to rest stop 1 on day 3, like, I'm doing all right.
Yeah, you sure are.
I filled up on Pop-Tarts, as we previously discussed.
Absolutely. I think I cruised right past the bananas and orange slices and got myself a graham cracker peanut butter jelly sandwich.
I'm not having any of that
And then
crap.
I'm just standing there, probably, like, questioning all my life choices at this point.
You're filling up your water bottles.
I was, and I think in my mind I was like, what am I doing? This is insane. I don't know anybody here.
Yeah.
My one friend that I made, Sarah, she is more of a social butterfly than I am. What am I doing here?
Yeah, and I was looking real lost, I'm sure. And I was like, oh my God, a person that I
actually
briefly met and was like,
I'm going right to that.
Remember that jackass yesterday? And that was pretty much the beginning.
That was it.
Of all of it.
That was it. And that's how it happens, everybody. When you decide to go on the LifeCycle, you make a lifelong friend.
Correct.
Because, again, it goes back to, like, that understood suffering that's happening.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't have done it with anyone else. I'm so glad I met you.
Oh my God.
Like, we've had a lot of life in between now and then.
Yeah.
And every time it's just like this. If you imagine we're sitting in chairs, this was us on 2 bicycles for 460 miles over the next 5 days. And I don't know when we're breathing during all of this conversation because it's just not what she and I do.
That's why we would actually fall over. I was going to tell you that part about getting up on the second day. Yeah, it is like that. Like you find your person and you're bonded.
Yeah.
You're bonded. And, you know, we quickly became friends. It was easy.
Yeah.
We're both very similar people that way. But there's a lot to say about the willingness to be vulnerable with someone when you're in a thing that is really hard.
Yeah.
And the vulnerability that you bring to the relationship, I think, is what ultimately will bond you or make it available for you to bond with another person.
Yep.
And that's what was so easy about being with you is you were as vulnerable as I was willing to be. And
For sure.
And I'm willing to be vulnerable all the time.
Oh, look,
all the time.
Like, you know, maybe you shouldn't trauma dump, maybe you shouldn't trauma bond, maybe you shouldn't do any, you know, anything that we're telling you to do.
I don't know.
But I would say that, like, when you are in a common situation with somebody and you find somebody is reaching for you, like, you should reach back for them.
Yeah.
And I feel that we were both going through something that was incredibly difficult, that we were not the best prepared for, but we had each other when we didn't have anybody else.
It's true.
And in that time of needing each other to get to the next rest stop, to get the next Pop-Tart, to get to the end of the day, to put on your shoes the next morning, it's like I knew that I was going to go and see you.
Yeah.
And I had so much fun with you the day before that, like, how could this day be?
How could this be?
Like, it's
how
just
can
gonna,
how can this be any better than the day before?
Yeah.
Except that it was.
Yeah, except for that every single
time,
like,
it just was more
compounded
fun.
on top of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the best time on that ride.
The best time.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to tell you about. Like you were mentioning earlier that you would get to a place where you're like, well, I'm just going down. I'm clipped in, and I can't physically figure out how.
I mean, it's close enough that I know I'm not going to hurt myself. I'm just going to lay down.
And I'm also not going fast enough that it's really going to hurt that
Correct.
bad. I was coming out of the rest stop on the second day. Remember, we had to roll through. I think it was Capitola that we rolled through. Mm-hmm. We left Santa Cruz, rolled through Capitola. I get to the first rest stop again alone because I don't have anybody. I don't know you yet. Oh, excuse me.
Whoa. We're gonna have to edit that out.
To edit that one out. Sorry. I'm leaving the rest stop as the sweeper van is coming in to be like, you guys gotta go. We come out of this rest stop. I go down to the bottom of the hill, and I'm like looking to see if anyone's coming, not realizing that I've actually come to a full and complete stop. And then I'm just like, oh, okay. Because you're so tired. You don't realize how tired you're going to be.
Yeah.
But then, you're just the guy over there that's, inviting people to come. He's like, you okay?
Yeah.
Like, yes, I am. I'm just embarrassed.
Yeah.
My pride is hurt. Nothing else is hurt.
Yeah. I am like, if I was going to snowboard, I'd probably have my left foot forward.
Yeah.
Just because that's the way that it goes. And when I'm on the bike.
That's regular all.
When I'm irregular.
You are irregular. I don't know why you ain't going the other way.
When I'm cycling, I always unhook my right foot.
Same.
To put down.
Yes.
So I had to quickly learn to use my left foot because on a lot of times, there's no road on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
Which was the first time that I fell over. I fell over
into
like
the
literally
shoulder.
like 170 degrees because I went to put my foot down in space and I just was like, well.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So.
Oh my goodness, I wish I had been there that day.
I'm really glad that you weren't because I would have heard about that.
Till we're dead.
Yes.
Till we're dead along with these paper towel koozies. Oh my God. Yes. It's the slaps are coming. I know. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I just, I wonder about you.
Well, I don't know. I can't help myself.
Could you help yourself?
Not really.
No, please don't.
I can't stop.
Never change.
Can't stop. No. Yeah. Won't stop.
Yeah.
There was a point in the ride where, like, some of my most favorite memories of my entire life are on this experience with you. Do you remember when we texted a picture? We were holding Pop-Tarts, I'm pretty sure. No. It was on Red Dress Day. We were either leaving the first rest stop or the second rest stop, and I wanted you to take a picture so I could send it to my mom.
It was the first one, yeah.
You took this picture and sent it to my mom, and then we got back on our bikes and we rode another 20 miles.
Yeah.
And at the next rest stop, which was lunch, I heard from my mom, and I jokingly texted her with that picture, like, you're finally seeing me in a dress that you wanted to your whole life.
Yeah.
And it was the first time in what felt like a very long time that she just said, she was like, I just love you exactly as you are.
Yeah.
And
powerful words.
I had needed to hear it from her for so long, and I didn't feel like my mom didn't love me or didn't appreciate how I show up or who I am or any of that. Like, she had long since accepted who and what I am.
Right.
But being on that ride with you, we're day 5, we're exhausted, you're raw. Your emotions are out there.
Yeah.
They're raw.
Yep.
And I didn't know how much I needed to hear it. And by now, we're like best friends.
Right.
Because we've spent, 80,000 miles and hours
Correct.
together, it feels like. But I got to share that with you.
Yeah.
And you just held me, and you loved me.
Yeah.
And then when we left, my second most favorite memory is when we were exiting. And this is for anyone that has ever considered doing something like this. You need butt butter at every stop, so don't let anyone tell you different. He suffered for it because he didn't know. I benefited from it because I made a friend within the first 5 miles that was like, this is what we're doing at the rest stop. I'll tell you that in a second. We got on our bikes. after having applied butt butter, and we're not 100 yards down the road, and I turn to you and I'm like, oh, this is very cold. And you're like, oh, you got the menthol type. And I was like, yeah, this is inside my body right now. Your exact words to me were, oh, just enjoy it.
Yeah, just enjoy it. I mean, what are you going to do now?
Nothing, man. And it was cool. It cooled me right down. Like, it literally felt like it was cooling me to the core.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been that cold inside my vagina walls before, but they were cold, actually.
I mean, in hindsight, I'm probably really jealous.
You should be.
I wish, I mean, I didn't spend mornings like Amanda spent. I spent my mornings in the butt tent, in the butt clinic. I am not going to share what the gentleman said about my rear end on this podcast.
I really think that's a gift to all, but whatever, it's your choice.
Well, we'll see.
Okay.
So, end of day 3, I'm starting to feel really sore in the saddle. Amanda's like, oh, you need to go to the butt clinic in the morning. And I was like,
what is this?
What the heck is that? Well, I don't know if you've ever put on a kit, but like you've got bibs on and then you're zipped into it. And then I've got, arm warmers and leg warmers and a jacket. I've got all this stuff on because it's chilly in the mornings.
Yeah.
Even though the sun's out, it's pretty
still
cold.
Brisk.
Yeah.
It's
so
brisk.
Then after your body's like all warmed up because you're fully clothed, you have to go to the butt clinic
and disrobe.
And then disrobe because you have to take off the shirt that has all of your shit in it, by the way. It's got sunscreen and your phone and your gloves and like whatever it is that you're going to need for the day is in the 3 pockets behind you.
Yep.
And then I've got to drop trow, like the entire bib is just around my ankles, and I am bent over a chair, much like this one that we're sitting in right now. And I have somebody just peering into the softest parts of me. And patching me up, as it were.
Yes, that is true.
So, new skin and moleskin and, bandage covers and all sorts of things. And
like they're taking care of you. They're making sure that you can do the thing that you signed up to do. I do have a follow-up question, though, about this because it was like, what was it, day 4 before you just...
It was day 4 before...
It was day 4.
It was probably the middle of day 3 before I discovered this butt butter. Because no one had told me anything about it.
This is so weird that no one had told you about the butt butter.
We're training in the Bay Area. I'm not really hot. I'm not a generally sweaty person.
Right.
I didn't do enough riding to realize, like, oh, I'm actually, like, I should look into this.
Yeah.
Yeah. It should be in the orientation manual.
I think it is.
It probably... Look, I don't read. I'm read too.
I know.
So,
I know. I hear that. But what I think... The follow-up question to this was, on a scale of 1 to 10, the pain... What's the pain in your nether regions on that 2nd and 3rd day? And did you get these sores on the first day? You got them on the first day, right?
I'm sure they were forming on the first day.
Yeah.
But then you go and take a shower in the shower trailer, and you're just trying to be quick. There's a lot of people. I'm not being as thorough as maybe I would be at home, and like just taking my time and luxuriating in this hot water.
Yeah.
Like you're in a trailer. There's people waiting, hundreds of people waiting to take a shower. So it's like military to get in and get out.
Yeah.
And so I know I was sore, but I didn't I thought it was just my sit bones.
Yeah.
That were sore. Just like, okay, I'm in the saddle. I didn't realize I was rubbing myself raw.
Yeah.
By not having chamois cream and not applying it over and over and over and over and over.
Right.
And that was a fail. But something you never forget. Like,
absolutely, you will never forget that forever. And I too, on the other side of that, will never forget that when I met Sarah on the ride, like it was literally within the first 3 miles.
Yeah.
She said, do you have a friend here on the ride? I'm like, no, I'm by myself. She's like, great, you're gonna ride with us. And I'm like, cool. And she said, at the next rest stop, there are some procedures that have to happen. And I'll walk you through it. I'm like, okay, what are we talking about? She's like, well, you need butt butter. I'm like, well, I'm wearing some. She's like, oh, no. You need to reapply at every rest stop. And I'm like, okay.
I mean, had I known, I would have had like a gallon of butt butter strapped to my bike and just tubes fed into my saddle.
Just like continuously pumping it in. Talk about skunk.
Yeah,
Man, you would have been the skunk. Just right up the back, white line, right up the back. We get to this rest stop, and Sarah's like, okay, here's your plastic glove, here's your chamois cream, go into the stall, do your business, and then put that on last. I'm like, okay.
Great.
So I go in there, I go pee, I wash my hands, I put on my glove, I squeeze the stuff in there, and I, apply where you're supposed to apply, which is between your cheeks. Not inside your body, but in your cheeks.
All
right?
around. Just anything that's going to rub.
Anything that's going to have any friction, you're trying to put this stuff on. And I come out, we're all like very demure and proud, trying to be polite because we don't know each other yet.
Right.
What is it, day 3 or day 4?
Day 4.
You could give a fuck.
You're standing in the parking. You're standing in the corral. Like you get off your bike. You did your business.
You went and peed. You came back out.
You're
to
on
the
your way to
Shady
the
Butter
Pop-Tart,
tent.
and you're putting the cream
you're
on.
You're on the way to snack time.
Yeah.
You grab your glove, your chamois cream as you're walking. You're squeezing, pulling your pants out, shoving in. Like pop it off, chuck it in the trash, and go straight to snack time.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm gonna get that Pop-Tart and one to go in my back pocket. No wonder my gut feels like awful now.
I mean, so not only am I
are
like
you
raw and blistered,
you're also messing up your stomach.
But then it's like, I'm not overly hairy.
No.
But I have bandages that are stuck to my body.
Where there's hair.
And so now I have to go, the guy's like, don't peel them off on your own. Like, get in the shower and get nice and hot and wet. And like, let the hot water like try to melt some of that adhesive. So I'm pretty sure it looked like I had like the LifeCycle Brazilian by the time I got home. So I'm telling,
just like these running strips where the tape would fit every time.
Raphael and I, we had not even been together, but like 6 months at this point. And I'm texting him. I'm like, oh, I've got these sores. I've got saddle sores. Like I'm so sore. Like my skin is rubbed raw. And he's just like,
what?
You're such a baby. Like how bad could it be? And I remember we went and picked up my bike when we got home. We get to the apartment. He's like, let me see these sores you've been whining about all week. And I show him, and he's like, "Oh shit,
God!"
Like, oh, okay, I didn't realize it was this serious. I'm like, I didn't know either.
And I think, yes, you have no idea until you like drop trowel,
which is
grab
why
your
day
ankles
6, like I'm in a van all day.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, there's no way I'm riding today. No. I tried. I made it to the first rest stop, and I told you, I was like, I cannot go one more mile. Like I am absolutely miserable. Yeah. Like that was 10 out of 10. Where I'm like, my body is telling me, like, do not do this to yourself.
Do not do this.
You're going to suffer some infection. Like, it's just going to be bad. It's going
to be bad. That was the day, that day I rode without you, and I had to stand on the bike and ride the whole day because my quads were too tight.
Yeah.
I could not sit and turn circles.
I sat in that park on a beanbag chair all day long, just like waiting like a dog waiting at home for its owner for you to get to the park. I'm just like, where the hell is everybody?
Where is everybody?
Yeah.
God.
So, but that's the night, I think that was, so end of day 6, we were in Ventura.
Yes.
And my mom and my aunt had came and surprised me.
Yeah.
And they flew in to see me cross the finish line. That was a really special evening. That was the night of the rider, where we all went out to the beach. And the Silent Rider bike was out there, and all the candles and the vigil.
The candles, and they did the whole vigil. That was so beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I never think about that, but that was so beautiful.
Yeah. Just a really, I mean, the whole ride was super touching.
Because every single night there's some
camaraderie.
Kind of camaraderie. There's an activity. There's a talent show. There's some comedian coming up and talking about this or that. Somebody's gonna sing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was so well done.
Yeah.
That's why we wanted to go back so badly after, and then.
Well, and then you'll have such a different experience this time because even though I want to princess it, I want to stay in camp until camp is done and then go to the hotel.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, stick around, have dinner with everybody, commiserate, talk about your day, talk about the next day, go to the events, share stories. Like that's
it.
We had each other for that during the day.
Yeah.
And then I think we kind of like separated from each other at the end of the days because like, I don't know where you're staying. Right. I'm going to go hang out with Kelly. Like, we'll see you later. But I know next time, me and you would do the ride ourselves. Right. We would stay in the hotel with each other.
Yes.
But it would be like, all right, we'll get our bags later, and we'll go to the hotel once all this is done, so we can be a part of every experience.
Because that's part of the sweetness of the whole thing is you're in a room. You're like in this tent that feels like just a giant ballroom, and you're enjoying this experience with all these people that you just rode 80 miles with that day. And you saw some of the most beautiful parts of California that's really hard to see in a car. You get to see it from your bike. And then that ride coming in on the last day, from Ventura. You remember? Well, you weren't on this stretch. But
Downtown LA was so annoying.
God, that was the worst part of it. But actually, riding from Ventura to LA was stunning.
Oh my God,
because we got to ride through Malibu.
Yeah.
And we rode down through Santa
Gorgeous.
Barbara. God, when we hit Santa Barbara, I was like, oh, I know why people live here now. This is stunning down here.
Yep.
And then coming across the finish line and seeing my brother and my sister-in-law and all their kids, they had come to watch, and, you know, checking in with Sarah after and talking about that whole scene. And it was unbelievable, the energy in that space.
Yeah.
There's so much love on the ride.
Yes, we had a very good time.
I couldn't recommend it enough.
Yeah, no.
Couldn't recommend it
whatever the next version is.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm just going to commit to you right now. Like, we're going to do it next year. Yeah.
I don't even have a bike, but I'll borrow somebody's.
I've got 2.
You got 2 bikes?
Yeah. You'll have to ride the heavy one, though.
Fuck. That's fine.
That's the penance for the paper towels.
Oh, you mean my koozie?
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for being on with me. I love you.
Love you too, friend.
This is so fun.
Yeah, no, this is great.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.
Have a good one.